everybody. We're back. I don't know why the finger guns are...
I don't know why you finger guns.
I feel like that's purely an American thing to do finger guns. Does any other country do finger guns?
We just do guns.
Yeah,
we
that's
do
true.
guns.
We just do
that's
real
what
guns.
we do.
Forget finger guns. We do real guns. Jack, yeah, that was... I can't believe you went camping when it was that hot out.
Yeah,
I mean, and then we were just like, holy crap, we lived in Phoenix for so long with those kind of temperatures in the summer.
Yeah.
And worse.
Yeah, I was there 20 years. You were there 11 years. Brandon, all his life.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm so happy that we were not living in Phoenix this year because they had a shit ton of a hard time.
Yeah. I don't know how you do the humidity with your beard, Jack. I feel like it would just be like you're wet all the time because of sweat. Like the couple times that I've been in like a humid area in Virginia when I was much younger, visiting a friend, and then when we went to the WAC in 2013, a Planetarium conference in 2013 in Texas, and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm just damp. I'm hot and damp.
Yeah, no, you don't ever get, I mean, you're just covered in sweat the whole time.
Yeah.
And you feel disgusting the whole time.
I think Brandon's a natural swamp cooler. I mean, it's like a dog's like their undercoat. It's like when it's hot, you don't want to shave them down like a Malamute. You don't want to shave them down in the summer because that undercoat actually helps insulate.
You don't want to shave cool. Jack down. That's what
don't
you're saying.
Don't
want to shave Jack down.
Don't want to shave Jack down in the summer.
But we're about to get to heat here. It's going to be over 100 for the next 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that 100 stacks up to 100 in some place like Phoenix.
Oh, well,
It'll be nothing. It'll be a nice... Anyway. What are we doing here? Oh, there we go. Special shampoos. I like that.
We got a good group. We got Brandon for a minute.
I know, before he gets on the plane.
We got Podcast Jack. We got Katie. I got Federico.
Oh, I didn't even see Federico. Hi, Federico.
Your mom's not joining us.
No, my mom's hanging out with her best friend Sally.
In Washington or something.
Yeah.
Washington State.
Yeah, on a little girls trip, ladies trip. Yes, with
a ladies trip.
Yeah. Anyway, you're running this.
Well, you're talking.
Yeah. Well.
Well, they had breakfast.
Oh, you had breakfast with Mom's more. Okay.
Anyway.
That's good. Yeah.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cosmos with Cosmos. As always, I'm Mike.
I'm Liz.
And we got Brandon in an airport somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what airport he's in. It's probably might be in Phoenix.
He's with us in spirit and in chat for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. So today we're just gonna give an update on Mars. What's it doing?
Yeah, we haven't stopped by Mars in a while. We had you can check out our High in the Sky episode that we released last time, which had a James Webb Space update because a lot of cool stuff has been coming out, and we were like, wait a minute, Mars, Perseverance, and Ingenuity have been up there for a while. And we haven't talked about them for a bit, so I think it's time to follow up with those plucky little robots.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that today. And before we get into what we're into the meat of the show, let's talk about what we're drinking.
Yeah.
So what are you drinking?
Oh gosh, you give me the most unstable glasses for these things.
It's supposed to go in that.
I know. I'm drinking a Marcianini. A French Marcianini, if you will. It is vanilla vodka, pineapple juice,
and that creme de cassis?
Creme de cassis.
Yeah.
Creme de cassis.
Yeah.
It's like a blackberry liqueur. And yeah.
Brandon, we'll get to you in a second, man. We'll get to you in a second.
What are you drinking, good sir?
I am drinking, I have 2 drinks. They are called the Sherlock and Watson.
Hey.
My Sherlock here is basically a Moscow Mule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But ginger beer, peach vodka, popped with cranberry juice instead of lime juice, and my Watson is nothing more than just peach tea with peach vodka. So that's what I got.
Peachy.
Yep. Today's a peach day. Peach day. It's hot.
Yeah, it's a perfect summer drink.
All right. So, as always, follow us on all the things. Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Oh, God, yeah,
now.
we got to call it something else. I got to change the logos. Ugh.
It's Twitter. It'll always be Twitter. It'll always be the little blue bird. But X, before what's his face shows up and tries to shoot me. So, anyway, at X is Drinking Cosmos. On everything else, Cosmos with Cosmos. Follow us and rate us on all the things, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to join us for The Hangover right after this episode about Mars, where I have no idea what we're going to talk about because I really hadn't even thought that far.
We don't think that far ahead for The Hangover because it's just a shooting the shit.
Is it? Yeah. I was going to say shit show, but I knew that wasn't right. But I mean, sometimes it is. Also, while you're following us, take the opportunity to check out Wildixia at Etsy. Right? It's Etsy, right?
Yeah.
And it's right there in the notes. Yeah.
How many times have we done the show where we say the same things?
But for a moment, my brain was like, I don't think it's Etsy.
We don't have this part memorized yet.
No. I mean, yes, but my brain was like, I don't think it's Etsy.
Yeah, it's Etsy. Yeah.
Anyway, she's got really cool stuff on it, and buy some of her prints, buy all her prints. And then buy all your buy all her prints for your neighbor and everybody else. And so, definitely check that out. The MrProctorShow.com, Ron Proctor's website, where he talks about really everything from space sciences, science education, to what it's like to be a teacher in Texas, of all places. And of course, if you are in the Council Bluff region, which is in western Iowa, eastern Nebraska, make your way to Rolling Bluffs Planetarium and check out Jack's Planetarium.
Ooh.
Which I found out, I finally looked up what kind of system he has. It's the same system they have in Eugene.
Oh, hey.
Yep, so.
Yeah.
All right.
And Jack is drinking a strawberry caramel iced tea, and I have never thought about strawberries and caramel specifically together before. I don't think strawberries and chocolate kind of dominate.
And chocolate,
an oolong tea. So that sounds good. Refreshingly.
I thought you were going to talk longer.
No. I'm sorry, I fill the void now.
So I was going to take a drink. All right. And, of course, every other Wednesday, do we have one coming out this Wednesday?
Not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after this Wednesday.
Or
the Wednesday following when this episode airs remotely on things. Or remotely. Is put up on Spotify and stuff.
Anyway, just check it out. The Shot. Check it out. We're recording one right after this podcast. And when I say we, it's going to be me, and I am probably going to be Blitz. So
you can check out our most recent episode of The Shot on Voyager 2.
Voyager 2. All right. As always, there are rules.
Oh.
Anytime a puppy barks, take a drink.
Yay.
Jack barks at everything now, so just take a drink. If there's a Star Wars reference or a Lord of the Rings reference, please take a drink. We also have a special hidden rule. It's a secret rule that only Brandon and I know about.
It's going to be one of those like dumb words I say all the time or something.
I just have to remember. So it'll probably only happen once. But it will probably definitely happen, and I'll go take a drink, and then confetti will fall from the sky, and
you got magical confetti.
Take a drink. Oh God! All right, Brandon just did. Do we have to take a drink for us in chat?
No, because the chat is technically not part of this part of the show. It's part of the Hangover. So a lot of times I'll cut out stuff that
keep it secret, keep it safe.
Well, now it's in the show, and I gotta find my... Okay. Oh.
You gotta find what? What are you gonna find?
The button. My drink button.
Oh, you found it.
I did.
All right, so let's talk Mars.
Mars!
Red planet.
Yay!
All right, so I figured before we dive into missions, because that's really kind of what the update is kind of where some of these missions are.
Yeah,
and I didn't even include all the missions that are there.
Oh, I was only even thinking about like the rovers and what they've been up to.
Yeah, and so
and what the helicopter's been up to.
Yeah, so and I got that, and that's what I was thinking. But then I was like, wait a minute, there are other missions there. So
that's fair.
And then 20 minutes before the podcast, I did find a website that I can just cheat with it. But anyway,
well, work smarter, not harder.
No, Planetarium Society. Thank you. All right, so right now Mars is in Leo. It's actually near the back legs.
It means nothing to you personally.
Oh,
That
okay.
just happens to be where Mars is. Help you find it in the sky. It's in Leo, the light, which is a springtime constellation.
It is a springtime constellation.
And so it's
and it's heading towards another one too, Virgo.
Oh,
it's kind of on the border. It's on the border between
yeah.
the two.
Okay.
But Mars is near the back legs of Leo, and kind of right there near Virgo as well. It has a magnitude of 1.78. The higher the number, the dimmer it is. The smaller the number, the brighter it is. For comparison,
Thank you. I was like, I don't know what this means. I mean, I know how bright it is in the sky, but
for comparison, Venus is minus 4.12.
Oh wow.
Also, for comparison, the Sun is minus 26 something.
Oh, okay.
So
down in the negative 20s, you're at blinding brightness in the sky.
Yeah. So Venus is about 15 times brighter than Mars right now in the sky.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. Mars is 2.428931 AU from Earth. 2.58.
Yeah,
2.4
so round
AU
that
from
up.
Earth.
2.4 AU? Okay,
Yeah.
and the Earth is 1 AU.
Yeah, so 93 million miles. So we're a little over, maybe about 220 million miles from Earth. Just rough thing. It takes light 20 minutes and 12 seconds to go from Earth to Mars or from Mars to Earth.
Oh.
So when you're communicating with these little spacecraft and rovers and such, it takes 20 minutes for that signal to get there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's our show. That's our update.
Anyway, cool.
Thanks for coming.
So it's
Thanks
there.
for joining us.
It's hanging out. It's chilling.
It's
It's
chilling.
It's
It's
literally
very cold.
chilling. Yeah, it's
Very
cold on
cold.
Mars. Yeah.
All right, so let's just talk about some of the missions that we do have there, and we're going to begin with the rovers.
Yay! Robots! The robots live on Mars.
They do. They do.
They are the sole inhabitants.
And take a drink, everybody. Take a drink.
Oh,
That's
what was that? Me indicating that they're the only life things living on Mars.
Yep. That's it. That's it. So take a drink. We were waiting. I knew it was gonna. No confetti.
Of course it's gonna happen. Of course. Okay. I mean, I have to say that every time we talk about Mars.
I was really convinced.
I mean, I'm wearing the shirt that says it. Like.
I was so confident that it was gonna happen before Brandon got on that plane, and you did not disappoint.
You're welcome. I'm glad I'm so predictable.
Alright, so there's some... Alright, so Curiosity, just to remind you, it landed in Gale Crater on August 5th of 2012, so it's been there for about 11 years.
It's been...
Just
since
celebrate 11 years.
2012 already?
Yeah, so 11 years. It's 11 years old on Mars.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. It has been on
It's
Mars.
lived on Mars the same amount of time that I lived in Phoenix.
That's true. And one lived in a hotter place, one lived in
a
a
colder
colder
place. But similar scenery.
Right. And Curiosity did this just incredible friggin' landing.
Oh, God, I love it.
With a sky crane. There's all kinds of videos that it gives animations about how it did, and it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, check out our Mars. We have another Mars episode, I'm sure, out there where
We
we talk
have a
about
few.
it. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is our 93rd episode.
Oh, hey!
So we're quickly approaching 100. So sometime later this year, I think we'll hit 100.
Cool.
And then I don't know what we're going to do. 100
Yeah.
years of astronomy? I don't know. but it's been more than...
We've kind of done that.
Yeah.
So,
It's been on Mars for 3,914 days. Just chilling out. So it just celebrated Sol 3...
What's that in years?
11 years.
Oh, right. We just talked about that. I got confused because then you went to days, and I was like, I need a conversion for that. I wasn't even thinking.
It was great. You confused me for a second. Like, what? All right.
So dumb.
It's driven 30.65 kilometers. So in
Okay,
American
now
for
thank
you.
you. Yes, this I need the conversion for.
19.05 miles. So
19 miles in 11 years. That is very slow.
It's just going at its own pace.
Yeah,
it's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. I originally put it in miles, but I was like, you know what? Science uses the metric system.
Yeah.
And the metric system makes more sense than this empirical shit we use. And I'm like, and Federico's going to be probably joining us. I'm going to do it in the kilometers and everything. We're going to put it in a metric system. That's what we did. I'll just have to convert everything for you.
Yes, thank you, because...
All right, so here are some of the things that have come out recently with Curiosity. Of course, James Webb has dominated the news when it comes to...
Of course. It's the new big shiny thing.
It's a big new shiny thing, but Curiosity and Perseverance and all these other objects are still going strong, and they're studying and making discoveries. And one of the things that Curiosity discovered was ancient mud cracks on Mars suggest red planet may have been more habitable than thought.
Ooh,
yeah, and
where the riverbeds were there, huh?
Yeah, and so Curiosity, well, it has found lots of evidence that there's water.
Yes,
water on Mars.
And its discoveries have been very curious.
Oh God, I love you. All right. So what Curiosity discovered was this hexagon tiled rock.
Hexagon tiled rock.
Yeah, and
so it's like a rock that is in the shape of a hexagon.
Well, it's basically mud flats that have
the
hexagon shapes to them. It's a pattern.
Okay.
What it suggests is that where it is in Gale Crater underwent periods of wetness and then dryness. And it did these wet spells and dry spells for up to like 1 million years, which doesn't seem all that crazy or anything like that. But
it seems like normal planetary behavior.
Yeah, but what they have found is through previous research suggests that, like here on Earth, looking at things here on Earth.
Comparative planetology, everyone.
Hey, yeah, exactly. Previous research suggests that these dry spells may have helped, maybe have been helpful for the evolution of life.
Really?
Yeah, so what happens is organic compounds, they form in the water. So this is in the wet period. And then it dries out and they become concentrated. And that leads to simple organic molecules that then combine and form larger molecules such as proteins, RNA, and DNA.
Oh, okay. So being dry allows them to come together.
Yeah,
basically.
it concentrates them because when it's wet, they kind of spread out.
Right, they're floating
around doing their thing, and then when it dries, they concentrate and they come together right now.
Forming life.
Well, forming more
organic
complex molecules.
But possibly.
All right, so this is just more evidence that early Mars just may have been conducive to the emergence of life. And so, so that's actually a pretty big thing, and so that has discovered that. It's also begun its toughest climb yet.
It's going up. Well, it had they put. Which one do they put the better shoes on? Wheels. Perseverance?
That would be Perseverance.
Okay, because they were going to do some more off-roading with Perseverance, right?
But also based on what they learned with Curiosity.
With Curiosity and everything. So it's going to go climb. Is it climbing the mountain now?
Well, it's at the foothills, so it's starting to. I mean, it has made some climbs. It's made some climbs, but.
And this is in Gale Crater. It's that rebound, basically
Mount Sharp.
The peak in the crater that's from the rebound of the impact.
Yeah, so Gale Crater is really big, and one of the cool things about impacts is that the small impacts tend to be just kind of flat on the bottom. They're just flat. But really large ones, what happens is all this stuff gets thrown out, like it does with any crater. But there's this rebound effect that hits in the center and creates this central peak. And you only see them in big craters.
Yeah. Big bada boomies. In fact, you can get like a tray of like a flour. And like some like bouncy balls or some sort of like rubber ball or something, and you can throw them into the flour, and you can like do your own little crater experiments to see how different sizes and shapes and make a mess of flour everywhere. It sounds like every parent's nightmare, every person's nightmare. Flour, aside from glitter everywhere, but at least glitter can be pretty.
Yeah, but you don't get it off. I mean, so if we have a kid, are we going to do flour meteorites
outside? Outside. Brandon is on a roll in chat, okay? He's at the airport. He says, I don't know if we can trust what scientists say about Martian geology.
Yep.
Well done, sir.
All right.
Oh, no, we're losing it. Oh, we lost internet for a second. Okay, there we go.
Are you back on?
Yeah, we're fine.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, anyway,
nice
so Curiosity, I don't remember which rover we were talking about.
Yes, Curiosity.
Curiosity is at Mount Sharp, and so they're saying that this is, and it's been doing this drive for the past few months, and it's pretty much the most arduous climb Curiosity has ever made. There have been steeper climbs and riskier terrain, but the mission has never had faced the trifecta of challenges posed by the slope, which has a slope of 23 degrees, which is pretty big for a rover. 23-degree incline on slippery sand and wheel-sized rocks. So there's
big rocks on it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that it has to overcome, and they are saying that this is like trying to run through like a sand dune.
Oh no! So there's gonna be a lot of like.
Yeah. And so.
I remember talking about this in the Planetarium when Curiosity first like got there, and I remember talking about like, and they're gonna go up Mount Sharp, and it's finally happening. They finally made it to it.
Yeah, and as far as how its wheels are holding up, I'm not really sure how they're holding up, but I'm pretty sure they're doing pretty well. I mean,
it's still movable. I mean, I guess if the wheels like weren't in a good enough condition for this, they wouldn't even attempt going up it because they would want to stay in terrain that, it can last longer in and not risk getting immediately stuck or something. So I guess they're pretty confident about proceeding in this direction.
So, I mean, to be clear, NASA wants you to know that the rover is not in any danger. So.
Oh, I was worried. It could be in danger. There's so many threats out there.
Yeah.
You don't know what comes out at night. You don't really know. I mean, it's pitch black. You know.
You can get stuck. Like Spirit or Opportunity Spirit. One of them got stuck.
I was thinking more like maybe Mars vampires.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. But. Yeah, but it struggled in May and June, to be honest and fair. But they have a plan, and so I guess it's just gonna kind of weave its way.
It's good that Curiosity has shown such perseverance.
You're combining them now.
I know. You see what I did there? Yeah.
Spirit got stuck.
Curiosity's like Vin Diesel in Pitch Black fending off aliens. I like it.
Back in June,
use those lasers.
Back in June, Curiosity sent us a postcard, as one does. On Mars.
Postcard home.
Yeah, and it was two pictures at the same site. And one picture was a morning picture, and the other one was an afternoon picture, and it was side-by-side comparison. You get to see the lighting changes, and in particular how it affects the coloring of the atmosphere is really pretty stark. So
really?
yeah, the morning is kind of an orangish atmosphere, and the afternoon is definitely more bluish. At least in the picture.
Okay.
So
yeah.
And when I say bluish, I'm not talking about blue like our sky.
Yeah. A different.
It's a different shade of blue, and
it's alien.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Martian.
But that picture, even though it was released in June, the picture was taken in wintertime for CwC.
Oh.
And the reason why they chose to do it in wintertime was because the atmosphere is a little clearer, has less dust in it.
Okay.
Unlike our atmosphere.
Yeah.
But you can go to the CwC website on NASA and
just Google CwC rover.
Yeah, and you'll be able to see that picture.
Check it out.
Check it out. Yeah.
That's cool. I wanna look at it now. I haven't seen
I
it.
meant to. I have a link in the notes, and I meant to grab these and have you do your magic.
Make a little image slideshow to pop up for the people watching us.
Yeah, but then I got distracted by so many other things.
You know.
All right, so let's make our way to the other rover.
I segued you too early. I was trying to do a segue, but I didn't realize you had a whole nother little thing.
All right, so by the numbers with Perseverance.
Yeah,
so
Curiosity's upgraded little brother.
Big brother.
Well, big little brother.
Well, they're kind of like
it's younger,
size,
so
aren't
that's why I'm saying it's.
Got you.
You know, that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it landed in Jezero Crater on February 18th, 2021. We watched that.
We did. We did. We watched it. We were excited. We were on the edge of our seats. We were like, oh, God, oh no.
We had a food spread. It was our Super Bowl.
It was our Super Bowl. Brandon was Brandon over for that? Brandon, were you over for that? Or was that just us? I can't remember. Did we live it? Did we live stream that?
I think that we did a live stream of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I believe we live streamed that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's Brandon was with us.
Yeah.
Via that.
Yeah, he was living with us.
Oh.
So.
Well then, he was with us.
God, it's amazing how we just can't remember.
But then we did live stream it.
Yeah, we did live stream it. I remember that.
All right. Today is Saw 882, so that's how many days it's been on there.
Yes, the days on Mars are called sols, SOL,
yeah,
for the sun.
And so it's been a few years since you wanted it years earlier.
Thank you.
It's been a couple years. It has driven. It's gonna get dog bit. It has driven 19.51 kilometers. I'll let you do the math.
I don't know what the math is to do, even if I could do the math.
12.12 miles.
Oh, wow. So
It's moving quick.
It's moving quick, yeah. I mean, Curiosity, 11 years, 19 miles, and Perseverance, 2 years and
2.5, yeah.
2.5 and 12 miles. All right, so it's going. It's moving. It's
moving.
Going.
Yeah, it'll surpass.
Do they have like a specific destination that they're going to right now?
Well, it's at Bluff Crater. As far as its specific destination, I'm not really sure.
No, they're just okay. So it's gone to another crater.
Yeah, and we'll get into Bluff Crater at least at some point here. Okay. I think with a picture. So all right. So images from May show. Actually, hold on. Images might show a record of a wild Martian river.
A wild Martian, not just any Martian river, a wild Martian river. What does that mean, wild? Did they clarify? Did they... I
think it was just
like it's like a...
Well, no, actually it is kind of wild. So, just talking about like how fast it's moving when they say wild.
Oh, okay.
Not like it's.
I'm thinking like
doing crazy stuff.
Doing some crazy shit. It's just out of control. It's running wild.
Yeah. So evidence is showing that that there was a river that was deeper and faster moving than scientists have ever seen evidence for in the past.
Wow. I mean, a river runs through it.
Okay.
I don't know. I could have waited a little bit longer to.
Yeah, and the river was part of a network of waterways that flowed into Jezero Crater.
Okay. Did it say how fast they think it was moving?
They did not. But
I mean, they can tell that just by how eroded the rocks are, or like how they're.
We're getting there.
Okay.
So understanding these watery environments can help scientists in their efforts to seek out signs of ancient microbial life, and may have been preserved in the rock. Mm-hmm. But they want to know if the water flowed relatively shallow and slower streams, mm-hmm. like they have at Curiosity. So, or if more powerful river streams, and that is what they found. So they stitched together hundreds of images that were captured by Perseverance Mastcam Z instrument, mm-hmm. and some of these mosaics suggest that the more powerful river is the way it was, and there are some important clues. There is coarse sediment grains and this thing they called cobbles. Cobbles. But anyway, those indicate that a high energy river that was carrying a lot of debris flowed, and the more powerful the flow of water, the more easily it was able to move those larger pieces of material. So they're seeing the larger
like larger rocks and mm-hmm. stuff that had. Okay, all right, that's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's I like that there's contrast to what they found in Curiosity.
I love that. You know, we have our planet, you know, the Earth, as data point number one of everything that happens on the Earth, and we can
in the universe, yeah,
and we can take that and we can go, all right, like with the images from the certain surface of Saturn's largest moon, Titan. From the Huygens lander, and those rocks that they showed there, you know, have been look like rocks in riverbeds here on Earth, showing erosion from water stuff. You know, we can take, oh hey, that looks familiar, and we can see consistencies of behavior of things mm-hmm. throughout the solar system, and then we can know exactly what was going on there, because we can see the exact same stuff happening here on the Earth.
Exactly.
And I love it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's that comparative planetology thing that you're talking about.
And we wouldn't know, and we wouldn't be able to know any of this or understand any of this just by looking at Mars through a telescope. Like, we have to have sent at least rovers there to do that science for us, so we can get, you know, that data, because mm-hmm. you know, there's only a telescope can only be so powerful, you know.
Right, it can only tell you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it can't see these fine details, or, you know, sample what, like, you know, is inside these rocks, what they're made of, you know, that kind of thing.
Speaking of which,
hey,
nice segue. And you and your guns.
This is the finger gun show. This is Liz's finger gun show.
All right, so one of the things that Perseverance has, you know, been doing is collecting rock samples, and mm-hmm. so mm-hmm. it continues to do that. It has collected, I think, 20 of these things. It has deposited some of them as a cache to be picked up later.
If we ever can.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But and so it continues to do that, and it will what they call core a rock, and it'll get a rock, and
does it use that with a drill?
It's got a brush.
Does it also have a laser like Curiosity where it can zap?
I don't know
rocks?
if it zaps them, because I think what they want is the interior of the rock to stay as is.
Oh, okay, so it's not like.
Yeah. So what they.
I get.
All right. So the most recent rock that the science team cored or worked on was Berea. I hope I'm saying that right.
How's it
like
spelled?
La Brea, like I'm thinking La Brea's tar pits.
Oh yeah, Berea.
Yeah, and
the tar pits are Brea, just Brea.
Brea.
La Brea tar pits, but this is Brea.
Okay, Brea.
Yeah.
So the science. That's right. And there was that show, wasn't it, La Brea?
Yeah.
But,
based off the actual tar pits.
Yeah, no,
it would be cool to see. I would like to see this
I would like
one
to
day.
too.
Anyway.
All right, so the science team believes that Brea formed from rock deposited that were carried downstream by an ancient river, which apparently was flowing pretty good.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
And that means that the material could have come from well beyond the confines of Jezero Crater. So moving it from outside of the crater, it's a rich carbonate rock, which on Earth is good at preserving fossilized life forms. So, so that's going to be part of a cache that will eventually be picked up. I thought it was going to be more.
No. The rest was in my head and it didn't come out my mouth. But...
No, it did not. Can you imagine? I can imagine a lot of things. What are you currently imagining?
Imagine all the fossils.
Oh, well done. Breaking out like, what's his face? John Lennon.
This is the singing finger gun episode by Liz.
All right, so once you get these rocks, you have two instruments on board that actually look at them.
Oh, I wonder what they could be named.
Sherlock and Watson.
Woo.
All right,
Cheers
so
to that.
Sherlock is short for scanning habitable environments with Raman and luminescence for organics and chemicals.
Guys, sometimes you just gotta not.
Yeah.
I mean, Sherlock sounds cool. You're investigating Mars, but there comes a limit on your, what are they, anagrams? No.
Yeah, whatever those things are.
Brandon knows. He knows how to write things. He knows grammar.
I think it's great. I mean, I love Sherlock Holmes, but this had to have been somebody that was just an insane...
Initialisms.
Had to be somebody that was just an insane fan of Sherlock. You know?
Well, I mean, look, you got craters, you got things on named after Lord of the Rings, you got composers, you got acronyms. Okay.
Anyway, the Sherlock is an instrument that helps scientists figure out if a rock is worth collecting.
Okay. Are you worthy?
And it is essential to the Mars Sample Return Program.
Okay, Federico is right. NASA is initialism. Acronym is the correct thing.
Yeah. So, Sherlock's capability centered on a technique that looks at the chemical makeup of the rock by analyzing how the light scatters on the rock. So the instrument directs an ultraviolet laser at its target.
So it does have a laser. It just has a UV laser instead of, it has a purple lightsaber instead. I don't know why, because UV to me is purple.
Well, it's right there at purple.
Yeah, and Curiosity has a red lightsaber, so...
Curiosity is
no,
a Sith.
Curiosity is going to be Anakin. Oh my gosh, we do. We haven't had a Star Wars reference in a while.
Anyway, so how the light is absorbed and then emitted provides a fingerprint for the different molecules for it. And this enables scientists to classify organics and minerals present in a rock and understand the environment in which the rock forms. So salty water, for example, will have a different look than fresh water.
Yeah. Right, okay.
So there's that. And so after Sherlock captures a rock's textures, Watson comes in with a wide-angle topographic sensor for operations and engineering.
They used the N to be engineering.
They did.
That was a stretch, guys. That's a stretch.
And it adds data to those images to create a spatial map of chemicals of the rock surface, and so they can get even more data and go, okay, we can keep this rock or just, I don't know, jettison it or whatever.
Well, guys, regular rock, possible life rock. Regular rock, possible life rock.
Yeah, pretty much. So, so Curiosity over in Gale Crater has confirmed the presence of organic molecules several times, and scientists really want the same thing with Jezero Crater, and so this is a great instrument for that.
Well, it seems like they're in a good location.
Yeah, so Sherlock has found organic compounds and samples that will be returned to Earth at a future date. We
shall see.
Yes.
We shall see.
And so since the rover is at Belva Crater, it has caught a picture. In April, it took a picture of Belva Crater. Actually, it took 152 pictures. And they were stitched together. And Belva Crater is a smaller impact crater, about 0.6 miles across. Within the larger Jezero crater.
It's a crater within a crater. We had craterception.
Craterception,
yes.
Right. And as with all images that NASA takes, sure, there are, and it's a beautiful panorama, and NASA wants people to see this panorama. They want them to download it and I don't know, put it on your wall or whatever, but just be inspired by what these rovers are doing. But like with any picture that NASA takes, scientists find something in it.
Yes.
There's nothing that's just purely a beauty shot.
Nothing is just like, this is pretty. No, it always has some sort of thing you can learn from it.
Right, and then so even within this picture, they found plenty of evidence of flowing water.
Okay,
into
really?
The crater.
They could see like little they little,
saw
like the divots
the
or the flow lines.
And again, wherever there's water on Earth, there's life, generally, and I think you could probably take generally out and say wherever there's water, there's life of some kind.
I mean, there's life you can't see in a lot of waters.
Yeah, and you have extremophiles that can live in very acidic environments, and
your water bears, your tardigrades.
The water bears that are even.
They're even on the moon.
They are. Brandon loves that.
Brandon got really mad in the airport just now.
He's gonna get on a plane and just cuss everybody out.
Damn tardigrades.
We're gonna see a report later where Brandon had to be restrained in his
man seat. Removed from flight yelling about water bears.
We will not even need to read the article. It'll be like, Brandon.
Oh, man.
It's Brandon.
Whoops.
But you can actually go to NASA website for Perseverance and check out that
tardigrade.
And check out that image. But when Perseverance landed, it was not alone. Had a little helicopter.
It had a buddy.
Had a little buddy.
It had its wingman.
Yeah, it's very, very. That's your best one. That's your best one so far. So by the numbers,
Ingenuity.
Its first flight was April 19th of 2021. So a little over 2 years ago. It has completed 54 flights. It has gone 12,240 meters. I'll let you do the math on that.
No.
40,158 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty far.
Wasn't it just, it's supposed to just fly once?
Just a few flights.
Just be let's just try it a couple times, guys. It'll hover a little bit.
Yeah, they want to do just a few flights. Right.
As with, when we succeed with our robots on Mars, we really fucking succeed with them.
Well,
when we fail, we'll fail with them. But when we succeed, we really... there's no just all right, it worked to its designated parameters. It always just goes above and beyond.
Yeah, so I think NASA has really embraced the Scotty mentality.
I was just gonna say they're doing the engineer thing that also LaForge does. Where it's you say.
Well, no,
LaForge
but in the episode,
from Scotty.
Well, yeah, but you learned it from Scotty in that great episode. Relics.
Yeah. They're just They're just trying to set our bar low so that when they know the bar is actually.
the highest that Ingenuity has flown has been 18 meters or 59 feet.
Just one more foot, guys.
It's one more foot. I'm sure it'll get there. The fastest it's gone was 6.5 meters per second, which is 14.5 miles per hour.
That's pretty quick.
It's pretty quick, yeah.
Flying through that. I mean, you have less wind resistance on Mars because it's a much thinner atmosphere.
And it's a real small little thing.
Is it traveling far from Perseverance, or are they keeping them?
It doesn't go too
they
far.
keep them pretty.
They keep them. They're very close together now.
Are they required to work kind of together?
They do work together now. That was not the original plan.
Oh,
but
okay.
it is the plan now.
And they can use ingenuity, I'm assuming, to then go and plot kind of like a scout.
That's
and
it.
Can
That's
see
exactly
where
how they do it.
Look at me.
So yeah, it is. It does the.
Brandon says they typically give shorter lifespans on estimates, so their operation budget stays low during the approval process. Allegedly. They know what they're doing. These are fucking rocket scientists.
Yeah, so they basically ingenuity. It is helping plot the course.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 All right.
They're really like the Sherlock and Watson.
Yeah, and they really are because they really do work together.
Yeah.
The total flight time has been 5,731 seconds, which is 95.5 minutes roughly.
Wow, that's what does it do when it's not flying? Where does it land?
It just sits.
It just sits on the ground.
Waits for instructions. Yeah, so
it'd be cute if it was like riding Perseverance's back.
It just lands.
It just lands, straps in. It has little clamps that
like
go on
those
it.
little birds on hippos.
Like little birds on hippos, and Perseverance is just going along with its little.
All right, so its most recent flight was flight number 54, which occurred on August 3rd, so a week ago.
Okay, just a little bit ago, yeah.
And it was a short 25-second up and down. That's all they wanted to do.
Boop.
Yeah.
Why?
Because on flight 53, there was a bit of an issue. Yeah, so on flight 53...
there's always an issue at some point for something, right?
Yeah, so on flight 53, it flew for 74 of the 100 of the planned 136 seconds. So it only did a little more than half of the flight. And so they wanted to try to figure out why with flight number 54, once they got it to be able to go again, they wanted to use that flight to try to figure out what potentially happened with Flight 53.
Okay.
And they think that the early landing was triggered when the image frames from the helicopter's navigation camera did not sync up as expected with the data from the rotorcraft's inertial measurement unit. Yeah, and so when that happens, its number one job is just to land.
Okay.
And to not go any further. And
sync card
so
issue.
it basically, it hit something that wasn't adding up, and the
it was like it's like a safety move. It's like
the safety
go
move
back
to
now.
land is what kicked in.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so it looks like Flight 54 did everything that it was supposed to do, and it's all good to go now.
Okay,
and,
that's good.
And again, so now it'll get back to helping plot out the path for.
And there was a recent image that I think came up from Ingenuity, and you can see Perseverance in the background of it.
Yep, so they are working together now. And by the way, what happened on Flight 53 is not the only time it's happened. It actually happened in Flight 6 as well.
Flight 6?
Yeah,
okay.
So it's been a minute.
So, but for nothing ever to go wrong, no hiccups whatsoever would be just, the chances of no hiccups, astronomical. Pun intended, of course. But, there's going to be... there's going to be hiccups at some point. You don't want a catastrophic hiccup, but there's going to be
But there's going to be those
two,
and let's be honest, the catastrophic hiccups, those are learning, teaching moments, and so we do learn from them.
You just got to scare it, and it'll be okay.
Yeah. All right, so
it's already holding its breath.
Yeah. So Perseverance has been doing these samples that we want to return to Earth.
That we may not actually come back to Earth because of budget issues.
Why are you stealing my thunder?
Oh, I'm sorry. Brandon put that in chat.
Why are you doing that? Why are you people doing that?
Oh, you guys do that to me all the time.
Anyway, the Mars Ascent vehicle, screw it, whatever. Let's just move on. Anyway, in March, NASA test fired the rocket motors for the Mars Ascent Vehicle.
Okay, this is the one that is supposed to go to Mars and collect everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is going to go to Mars. It's going to land, and it will collect everything, and then it will be the first rocket launched from another planet.
I want this to happen because that is so hard. I can't even think because we know the mass of Mars and we know the atmospheric pressure and we know we know we can do it by numbers, but but then to actually do it without any totally remotely.
Yeah,
It just
well, I know. I mean, yeah, we all want it. We definitely all want that to happen. It'll be so exciting, and that you did that.
Yeah.
Launch another rocket from the surface of another planet
that has completely different launch conditions, parameters, needs, requirements,
and
things.
Also, to be fair, an easier launch.
Because there's less atmosphere.
Less gravity.
You need less fuel then, because you need less fuel to break.
Right. It's only a 2-stage rocket. It's solid rocket.
Normally it's 3-stage, 4-stage. What's the normal rocket?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. Okay. If you want to go to the moon,
if you want to leave a planet,
if you want to go to the moon, it's a 3-stage rocket.
Mm-hmm. If you want to go to Mars,
it was 2. It's less atmosphere, so less.
No,
drive.
if you want to go to Mars.
It's a 3-stage rocket because you have to leave Earth's gravity.
That's what
that
I'm saying.
third
it's normally a 3-stage rocket.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to ISS, probably just a 2-stage.
Yeah.
Because you're not leaving Earth's gravity.
Right.
You're not breaking the. You're not reaching escape velocity. That's the term I was trying to get to.
You're not reaching escape velocity. Yeah.
Mars has less escape velocity requirements.
So, it's a 2-stage rocket. They test fired both stage engines for the rocket in conditions that simulated Mars. So, temperature of minus 20 degrees Celsius, which is minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Did they have like a big...
A cold room, I guess.
Thing that they can like... because, okay.
Yeah. And they were both successful. And the quote is, "The hardware is telling us that our technology is ready to proceed with development." Wow, that's just a beautiful quote.
Our technology is ready to proceed with development.
The MAV, the Mars Ascent Vehicle, will land on Mars with a sample retrieval lander near it on
They are
going
to think of a more creative name for that, right? Than SRL.
Yeah, sample. Yeah. However, though, as you guys stole the thunder, it is facing a little bit of jeopardy after the U.S. Senate raised questions about the mission's expanding.
Fuck off, U.S. Senate. Fuck the fuck right off, U.S. Senate. Get the fuck out of here and fuck off, all right? Why don't you fuck off with your military and put all my tax dollars to NASA and Mars missions and all the space missions. Just
all
get
the things.
What you have no idea what you're talking about, Senate. Get out of here.
The guy that who's in charge of NASA? The guy.
Is that Bolden? No, Bolden was.
No, it was the dude who was there for like James Webb. He was a senator, but now he's like over NASA.
Brandon will know. Brandon will know.
Yeah, he just looks like a fucking mannequin. And you know, a mannequin has had like a lot of facelift surgery. His face just looks stuck.
Is it a mannequin with or without nipples?
You know, I used to work at Dillard's. All mannequins have nipples.
Do they really? Okay.
Yeah, it's really.
You used to work at Dillard's?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh.
I would wheel the clothes out to the different places.
Okay.
So.
Bill Nelson. Brandon says who's done a surprisingly good job for a mannequin.
For a mannequin. No, he just looks like a mannequin.
What's that movie where the mannequin comes to life? Isn't there a movie where a mannequin comes to life? Is that like a Brooke Shields as the mannequin? I don't know. But there's a movie where some mannequin comes to life.
Oh, vaguely. Yeah, vaguely kind of.
I don't know. Anyway.
Where it's only we did that.
Was that the astrology episode?
It was the astrology episode. All right. So really, because of time, one more mission, that I want to talk about because I did find this really kind of interesting.
Okay.
The Insight lander.
Ah, yes.
May it rest in peace. May it rest in peace. It's no longer with us. However, the science is still being sifted through, and the science is still being analyzed. And what they did is they found that Mars is spinning faster than thought.
Oh, it has a shorter day?
It has a shorter day than thought.
And its day was similar to our day.
It is, but it's a little closer now.
Really?
Yeah, but not that much.
Oh.
So, all right. So,
how do we get Mars's rotation wrong?
Well, okay, you're
gonna find
that. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, yeah, and you can have a spacecraft that.
Because we have satellites in orbit.
Yeah, and so, but. I'm building this up as if this is going to be like a 4-hour difference. It's not. It's not going to be anywhere near.
It's like
that.
A point.
So, but what I found really fascinating was just the way they did it. And so, using the Deep Space Network, Sebastien Lemaistre of the Royal Observatory of Belgium beamed radio signals to the Insight lander.
Oh.
Okay, easy enough.
Okay, yeah.
There was a thing on Insight called RISE, which is Rotation and Interior Experiment. But basically, what Sebastian did was he reflected the signals off of that and back to the Earth. So he used it as a mirror.
Okay, yeah.
And so. So what they did was they tracked the position, and it allowed them to track the position of the lander and to determine exactly how fast Mars rotates. And Mars is accelerating or spinning faster, and they say accelerating, so it's going to continue to.
I wonder if it was like a past impact that is causing this.
Well,
that it's still.
Give me a sec.
Okay. Look, I'm.
All right, so Mars is accelerating faster than Mars is accelerating by a fraction of a millisecond a year, so it's not a lot. But it's enough to measure, and you're talking about maybe 30 centimeters, and so that's going to be about 12 inches or so a year.
That it moves faster? Wow. Actually, that's pretty good. That's actually a lot.
And that's over the course of a Martian year.
Yeah, which is double our year,
which is
basically.
roughly double ours.
Brandon says, easy enough to beam laser beams to a tiny robot on Mars. Easy enough.
Got it.
It's easy enough.
Scientists aren't sure what's causing the acceleration, but theorize...
Oh, hey, Ron says stealing energy from one of its moons. Hey, welcome to the show, Ron.
Scientists aren't sure what's causing the acceleration, but theorize it could be due to ice accumulation on the polar caps, or post-glacial rebound, where land masses rise after being buried by ice, and that change in mass changes the velocity at which it rotates, and is making it accelerate, speed up.
Huh.
Yeah. Now, if it is that post-rebound, which makes the most sense to me, but if it is that post-rebound, it will eventually stop accelerating because the land's only going to go so far.
Yeah, all right. So it's like spinning a top. You're putting the force in, but eventually you're not continuing with applying force. So it's gonna
right. So the mass is going to eventually get to where it wants because those forces are going to equal out.
Okay,
it's going to be equilibrium, and it's just going to...
Brandon says, post-glacial rebound is the genre of music I make. Post-glacial rebound. That's definitely the name of a band for like an explosions in the sky or God is an astronaut. Post-glacial rebound.
That's not a punk
doing
name or metal name.
Some post-rock, space rock kind of shit.
That's music, yeah. If we were to make music, it'd have to be punk because none of us can play.
Oh, that's fair.
Which is what you told me last night.
That is exactly what I said to you last night.
When we went to the Oak Ridge Keg and Cask Festival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I met an old punker.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna be a metal band, you gotta at least know how to. If you're a guitarist, you gotta know how to play the guitar.
But
you gotta be
I'm,
able to scream. You gotta be able to.
there are punk bands where the musicians are accomplished musicians.
Ron said he had a post-glacial rebound situation last night. If you know what I mean.
Wow. Okay.
Congratulations, Ron.
And that's our update
on that note, yeah. I think in The Hangover, if you stick around, if you're with us live, or if you come back later and watch the show on YouTube, we can talk about some of the other missions, and then I can yell at the U.S. Senate some more.
Yeah, and, or we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Just put it in chat and we'll talk about it. So... thanks for joining us. I don't know if Brandon's plane has been delayed,
He's never leaving.
But at least he was with us the whole time, and so that was good. I thought he was going to get on it pretty quick. But thanks for joining us. Join us in 2 weeks for our final episode of the season, where we do a high in the sky for September. Correct?
Yeah, we'll do a high in the sky for September, and then we're going to take a little break for ourselves to recharge and
play video games,
get our shit together, and then we'll be back September 20.
Well, it's still to be decided, but it's going to be either either September 24th or October 8th. So one of those.
We'll see. We'll keep you posted.
We'll keep you posted.
For our post-glacial rebound.
It'll most likely be September 24th.
For Season 5, post-glacial rebound.
You know what? Why don't we just say September 24th? Because we want to do a high in the sky for October.
That's
because
true.
October has some cool shit.
Yeah, it does. But you'll have to come back and join us.
Yeah, we won't tell you.
But we'll get a high in the sky for September next year.
It involves the sun and the moon in my house. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Follow us on all the things. Like us on all the things. Tell your neighbors. Tell your friends. And we'll see you in a couple weeks for another High in the Sky. Everybody stay safe. Stay healthy. Keep doing the finger guns. Hey, you know what? In this country, if you want to do finger guns, do it. Do finger guns instead of real guns.
Bear arms.
Oh my God!
These guns.
Put your shirt back down. Anyway, so do finger guns instead of real guns.
Yes.
Or ghost guns or anything like that. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.
If you're with us now, stick around. We will be right back for The Hangover. Have a safe flight. Nope, there we go. Oh, I know we were muted, Katie. I know my little iPad mini is frozen, so it wasn't doing the thing. And then I pressed the wrong button, so it didn't do our title sequence, and it's just...
I'm gonna do it to you.
I don't know. I should have used normally I use my other iPad, which is better than the iPad mini for this situation, but it had 10% battery left, and I was like, it's not going to make it, and I don't have a long enough charging cord for it to reach over here.
But we gave it to your
my
parents.
mom left it here, but we gave it back to her after her visit the other day. But anyway.
We should have said, oh, I forgot, and then give it to them next week.
It's true. Anyway, welcome to The Hangover with Cosmos, everyone. Following our live episode on our Mars update.
Yeah, well, apparently Jack just had enough
came back
time for
just
his
in
refill.
time. Yeah, Jack just got to squeeze a refill end of his strawberry caramel iced tea. Parentheses oolong.
He should send us. I mean, I don't think Jack has drinks alcohol, but we can do it for
Which
you.
Is fine. I mean,
No. What I'm saying is that he can send us the recipes
for all his delicious tea
and then we
recipes
can
and
adapt
stuff.
them,
or just drink them as is. Because
what would be great though is that we coordinate. So he sends us, and like we have the same drinks on.
We have the cocktail version.
Yeah. So
like a strawberry caramel cocktail.
Oh, with like a chocolate vodka, vanilla vodka.
Or you can do a caramel vodka.
Caramel vodka, yeah.
Although I'm surprised I'm not getting all like red and rashy, because normally a flavored vodka makes me I have an allergic reaction to it, but I'm not getting. You didn't
get rashy last time with this. But no, you're right. It does.
Yeah, normally I think I don't know if it's the sugar in the vodka.
Well, there's a lot of sugar in vodka. So. Liz is drinking basically what's called a French martini, which is neither martini nor French, but it's it's a good drink, and I think I liked it. No, I liked it better with just regular vodka. I liked it better with the vanilla vodka, and so we traded, but it's got a nice little flavor to it. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it, so. It's just pineapple juice.
It's not too sweet because the pineapple juice kind of cuts the sweetness of the vanilla vodka.
Yeah, don't smell it. You're sloshing.
Well, okay, I gotta look at it and put it down.
Yeah, but no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So Liz found it. What were you looking for?
I think it just was an article that popped up in my Google News feed.
Yeah, Google likes to give me all the drinks now.
Thanks, big brother.
I found these results.
We weren't talking to you.
On cue.
Anyway.
All right.
Hangover time. Mars update. We had some more missions on Mars that we didn't feel that we had time to cover in the main episode without going just... unscripted, Katie. The main
But the thing is now is I want to know what the results are. It just arbitrarily goes, I found these results.
Hey Google, what are the results?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
It's too long.
I found something else. Do you want to know what are development results?
No, thank you, no.
It's like a dog's memory, they don't...
Sorry, I don't understand.
Get out.
All right, anyway.
Where's Data when you need him?
I know, right? We talked about the some of the active missions. It was mainly the rovers.
Yes, because the rovers are.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
And they are, and we even had our little secret, rule which blew right into
immediately, where I say Mars is the only planet with robots living on it.
Yeah.
I can get along with the rovers as our robot overlords, Yeah. Not Google.
Oh, now it's gonna... Alright, anyway. But these aren't the only missions that... using Long Island iced tea is the base and mixing strawberry
syrup. A tablespoon of muscovado sugar. That's the sugar that Brandon has for his fancy old fashions. And on the rim or dusted on top. Ooh, Yes, and we can make strawberry syrup with some fresh strawberries.
Yeah, I really want. I want to write a Cosmos drink book, and pepper it with. I mean, obviously it has the drinks, but also pepper it with astronomy.
We could go pick some of the blackberry bushes outside and make like a blackberry syrup.
Yeah, I mean, there's all right. Anyway,
we're easily distracted now. Welcome to the Hangover, everyone.
Squirrel. All right. So, but there are more missions that are there. I mean, we focus on Insight, which is not technically an active mission because it's dead.
But
But there was some science.
I mean, with all the missions, check out our Voyager 2 episode on the shot. These missions that aren't technically like really active or like, Voyager is it does have science. It's still active technically, but. We can still get the data, or we can learn information from the data that we have received from it, because we get so much data. I mean, Cassini provided how many years worth of data that there's only a handful of people, really. There's only not that many people in comparison to the population of the Earth that are looking at the data and studying and finding new things, or people have different specialties in what they're looking at with the data, so there's always new things that can be learned from stuff that is from, some mission that was defunct, years ago or something,
Federico is so boring, having just a beer at the beginning of the show and a gunfight whiskey at the end.
Ron, I prefer not to miss whiskey
But
gunfighting.
that's what you do in Texas.
Remove the seeds from the blackberries before making the syrup, or would be woody in flavor. Thanks, Jack. I would have been like, blackberries in the pot, sugar, water. Hey, finger gunfighting. Pew pew pew.
All right. Anyway, so
it's only gunfighting I can approve of is finger gunfighting. Pew pew.
All right, so China has a mission there.
Yeah, hey.
And so China's mission is the Tianwen-1, and the Zhejiang, which was a rover.
Yeah, we're definitely not pronouncing these correctly, so we apologize to all of Chinese nationalities.
Oh, okay.
Good night. Good night whiskey. Okay. I'm going to say gunfight whiskey. It sounds like a brand here in America. Federico? You got some Western whiskey?
But it auto-corrected. So how many times do you put in gunfighting? All right. So the Tianwen-1 means questions to heaven. Or questioning the heavens.
Oh, wow.
It is China's first Mars mission, consisting of an orbiter and a rover named Zhejiang, and it entered Mars orbit in February of 2021, and Zhejiang landed on May 14th, 2021.
Oh, okay. So, perseverance timelines.
Yeah,
similar.
Exactly. And so, among the rover's science instruments is a radar that can detect pockets of water. Wait a minute, is this? Oh, this is a rover, so no. Could detect pockets of water beneath the surface which may contain life.
Oh, okay, that's
cool.
So
it's just looking for the water.
It's just looking for the water.
Can't find the life.
It can't. Yeah. In fact, I would correct me if I'm wrong. If there's anything you're going to touch on, but none of the robots that anybody from Earth, well, where else are they going to be from? Anybody from Earth has sent to Mars have been designed to look directly for life. It's more of looking.
The Viking landers were the only ones, and they came back as inconclusive.
Yeah. So it's been mainly focusing on, was Mars habitable? Could it have supported life? And then once that has enough data to be like, oh, for sure it could have been habitable, then it's developing that technology to look better technology to look directly for that evidence. Yeah. But that can also happen if we are able to have the budget for that sample return mission from Perseverance, looking at those rocks and then finding fossils that is then going to be direct evidence that there was life.
Right.
Or that there is fossilized bacteria or tardigrades.
You're going to want to send astronauts there. And so they can collect the rocks and then bring them home. But
well, they're sending
the Mars descent vehicle is an unmanned mission. It's going to return them. And so
eventually, you want to have humans there so we can just look at shit ourselves.
Right, but the humans will be able to get samples from different places and look for it. But right now the best bet is to bring them back here. But that costs a lot of money. Yeah, but it also is going to be expensive to create a lab on a rover that's looking for...
Take all my tax dollars!
We'll get to that in a bit. Anyway, images from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, published in February of this year, 2023, indicates that Zhurong is no longer moving.
Oh, I guess the Chinese don't really like to share
in
their
fact, the Chinese officials have not confirmed whether or not the rover is still active.
They don't share their data, do they?
No.
Like everybody else in the world does?
I don't believe they do, and they're also quite secretive on whether things are a success or not, and that type of thing.
A lot of pride issues.
Well, I should say they're secretive to their own population, whereas...
Well, you don't want anyone thinking for themselves. Anyway, move off of it. We're moving off of it.
But
anyway,
I know that we have at least one person that will listen to us in China. So they have ways of getting around that big.
Well, not anymore. We just got banned. Anyway.
Problem.
But that's the success to failure margin of sending anything to Mars is it's higher on the failure end. It's not easy.
It was 50-50 for a bit.
Easy to do it all. Anything can go wrong.
It was 50-50 for a bit. We watched this thing about the James Webb Space Telescope. And
I think we talked about this on our update.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Where there was 300 points of failure?
Yeah.
But
any one of those 300 points
fails,
but for kaput for the whole thing.
Right, so we talked about it in terms of James Webb. We didn't talk about it with the rovers. Mm-hmm. But in that episode they said there was something like 165 points of failure for Curiosity and Perseverance, where if any one of those failed, the whole thing failed.
I mean, if one rocket didn't fire upon entry, Federico asked, would it be better, in quotes, to find DNA or similar traces in the samples or a completely different structure?
But the thing is
it's a completely different evolutionary platform.
Right, but if it's a different structure, do we know that is what it is?
Yeah. I mean, would we be able to identify it if it was something other than a carbon-based...
Yeah, well, I mean, we know that you can carbon and silicon are easily interchangeable.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So, but it's or is it like Jeopardy where you have to use context clues sometimes to find the answer?
But I mean, if something is a fossil, I don't know what the chances of getting actual DNA from the fossil could be, but the look of the fossil, I wonder if it would be an obvious, this does not look like a natural shape, or into the rock or a part of the rock, it would look like something that was in. You would see
something. Let's say it's a microbe. It would look
it would stand out from the structure
itself. It would stand out from the
structure.
Rock.
Yeah.
And then within that, you might find other structures, like you would with a cell. And you might be able to use those context clues. And then you can
infer that, this is not part of the rock. This is something that fossilizes
and which is
the
what
rock.
they did back in the 90s when Clinton had his little news conference and said, we have found evidence of life on Mars.
Okay, not that one.
And it turns out it wasn't.
We did not find life.
No, we did find life on Mars.
You can't point. You got to use the thumb. That's the thing.
Yes,
you can't point.
That's what they all politicians
use the thumb because a point is too aggressive.
Is this what? Oh, is that what it is?
It's too aggressive in your face. So this is you're still, but it's not as confrontational, I guess. It's more
that makes
politic.
Damn. God damn it. Leave it to American politics to come up with that shit. All right, anyway. HOPE, the United Arab Emirates Mars mission.
Oh.
To be honest, I kind of forgot about this one.
I I'm not sure if I forgot or if I never knew about it.
It's a United Arab Emirates Mars orbiter that arrived in February of this year.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. No, February 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
2021 was a good year for landing shit on Mars because of how the alignment was between
all the alignments
Earth and Mars, and so it was...
Yeah. So it is studying Mars' climate to help us understand what Mars was like when its atmosphere could have supported life.
Is this the Disney Point, Jack? Disney Point with all the fingers and thumb tucked.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll let you know in January. HOPE is the Arab world's first mission to another planet. More countries exploring our solar system means more discoveries and opportunities for global cooperation.
If they share the data.
Well, I'm pretty sure they will. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they will. And I'm getting this information from the Planetarium Society. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that last bit is really meant for just the stupid people in this country that stumble upon this.
That are like, we don't need no...
Yeah, and that are like, America first, that type of thing. And, it's true. The more
eyes in the sky, the more countries out there. I mean, it's a united front that can be made. It's like when the astronauts go on the ISS. You have astronauts from various different countries, and what do they all say? They all say the same thing. Like, when you look at the Earth, you don't see borders. You just see the planet that we all share as human beings.
Look, I tell people, and you can call me whatever you want to call me.
Oh, Walt Disney was anti-pointing with the index finger since it was too close to a middle finger salute. But, I mean, all fingers are next to all the other fingers. But anyway, I guess if you use all of them, then you can't single any one of them out.
True. I am a human. I'm an Earthling.
What?
Yes, I'm an Earthling before I'm an American. Mm-hmm. And so we're all in this together.
And then if we discover other life out there, we'll be like, we are universalings.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will be. Even if they're like... Independence Day when it comes to just like shoot us.
What if they're the Borg though?
Well, resistance is futile, but we'll try to.
Resistance is not futile. Just ask LGBTQ plus,
yes.
LGBTQIA
plus. Yeah, you got it. Yep. Right. All right. So the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, which is mapping Mars's atmosphere, and it's a collaboration between. The European Space Agency, ESA, and the Russian Space Agency.
Oh, ExoMars. Okay, I was like, what's its short name?
Yeah. And it was launched in March of 2016, arrived a year later.
Starship Troopers would win against the Borg.
Oh, yeah, they would. It dropped off a lander named Schiaparelli, but the lander's parachutes deployed too early. And it crashed.
Oh.
Like Liz said, it's for a bit, it was 50-50 whether you're going to be able to land on Mars or not.
And you don't even find out instantly. You got to wait at least 7 minutes.
Or 20 minutes or whatever it is. Yeah. And so, and it's... But now we've had a pretty good run. Lately. Mm-hmm. We'll see if that continues. But it's
Well, we know how to do it. We know what the math is, but it's just making sure that... I mean, it is humans building everything, putting everything together, typing in everything. So, I mean, there's a lot of room for human error. Yeah. Converting the units. Metric to imperial to metric or whatever, was that New Zealand one that it was England, I think. England
or European Space Station. So there was a mission. It was I think it was an orbiter, right? Or maybe it was a lander. It might have been a lander.
It was a lander.
And it crashed.
Schiappa means loser in Italian.
Really?
Maybe it's not Schiappa, and that's just us pronouncing it wrong. But Schiaparelli is named after a dude. Schiaparelli crater.
Well, no, the Schiaparelli, he studied Mars.
Yeah.
And he's the one who did all the maps.
That's right. He did the early maps of Mars that then Lowell thought were canals on Mars, which obviously
was a mistranslation.
Wrong.
And,
so, but maybe his last name did mean loser. We don't know.
Well, what does the Pelly mean?
What is what?
Well, it'd be loser and then...
What's the other half? Schiappa.
Oh, Schiappa. Schiapavelli?
Schiapavelli.
Okay, anyway.
Schiaparelli?
But anyway, there was...
I'm sorry, Federico, that I'm constantly butchering your beautiful language.
You're going to spill that so bad.
I'm not going to.
Oh, I was watching it.
If it makes you feel better, Federico, I like Italian more than I like French. In terms of the language and how it sounds. Oh, my last one was perfect. All right.
All right. Anyway, there was a mission to Mars that engineers made 2 sets of calculations.
I'm surprised any were operating off of. Okay.
Yeah, and one was imperial. The other group did metric. And they needed to combine these 2 calculations. They did not get converted to metric, and it came in too hot. And
why was anybody using imperial? I thought everybody used just metric naturally.
Because we're America, and it's socialism to include metric. And I don't know why. I mean, imperialism isn't the greatest method to use. Right, but it's just like, in this country is so stupid. And...
Oh, Brandon's 20,000 feet in the air right this very second.
But this country is so stupid when it comes to things like this, to where if anything is European, it is considered socialism.
We won the initial war, guys. We can no. Now we can just be like, oh, they're doing shit better.
That. The metric system was from the 1800s. It started, and it's based on 10.
Yeah, I'm saying we have a complex about, because we had fought a war against basically what was the main part of Europe. Well, the Europe that mattered, because we were under its thumb. We can't...
Yeah,
we fought a revolutionary war, so now we have a complex as a country where we can't accept anything that is across the pond, as they say.
But you know what's really weird?
Even if it's better, like universal health care.
But you know what's really weird was in the 1970s.
The 17s!
Which feels like it could have been the 1770s, but in the 1970s, there was a push here in the U.S. to adopt a metric system.
You have to change all the books.
Well, yeah, you got to change signs and books and shit like that.
You don't want to do that.
But it was actually, the imperial system came first, and because it was English, and so it came first, and then later in the 1800s or late 1700s, the metric. I'm looking at Brandon's message there. The metric system came in, but the metric system is based on 10. Because
someone thought about doing it better.
Somebody was like, you know what? Let's just base shit on 10. 10 just makes sense.
Powers of 10.
Powers of 10. And that's what the metric system is. But somehow,
America.
It got conflated, and
it was turned political.
It turned political.
We do everything here.
It turned to this European thing. We're not going to do European here in the U.S. And then, if we were to talk to the guy with the Trump sign and ask him about the metric
our local
system,
neighborhood Trump sign kid,
and he's a kid. He's probably 18 to 20.
Let's average him to 21.
Okay, he's 21 years old. Hey, kudos for being excited about politics, but dude, you're picking the wrong person. But anyway, hey, we listened to a podcast from somebody else where somebody had they had 11 fingers. No, they had 12 fingers and 11 toes.
12 fingers and 11 toes.
It was just their left foot that had the 5 toes.
Yeah, it was like a wrestler. But Brandon then asked, you sure you don't have 10 fingers and elven toes? What would elven toes look like? What do Legolas's toes look like?
Oh my
anyway,
God.
that is also a Lord of the Rings reference. So, I'm going to let Brandon get that one in.
That's loose. That's a loose reference.
Okay, well, if you say elves, what do you immediately think of first?
Well, yeah, I think of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
but I don't really feel like it's something. Anyway, so I bet you he would say that at least socialism, if he can form a thought like that. But no, it just measures shit. That's all it does.
Because it just measures.
It doesn't.
But we'd have to change all the rulers.
Yeah, and it would all be based on 10.
We don't want to change things like that. God, all the science textbooks had to change when Pluto was demoted, and it was a whole debacle. Fahrenheit, temperature is comfortable to humans. Celsius, temperature is comfortable to water. Kelvin, temperature is comfortable to atoms. That's a
perfect quote.
That's great, Jack. Interesting. Okay.
But I guarantee you, if Federico were to chime in, he would say that he now understands that Celsius and how Celsius relates to temperatures being comfortable to humans now. You know,
he works
because they use metric.
Yeah.
The rest of the world
Celsius
uses metric.
See, I didn't think of Celsius as being like a metric. It's just like thing. It's just because it's temperature. You're not measuring.
Yeah. So
distances.
Celsius at 0 degrees, water freezes.
Yeah.
Ours
is 32 degrees.
Yeah, and so at 100 degrees, it evaporates.
It makes more sense that 0 degrees is when water freezes.
That's your first step. That's your first step.
I don't know if I understand the whole inches versus not inches or whatever, feet versus not feet.
That's your first step. Thank you. You've taken your first step.
I did it, everyone. I'm coming over to the metric side.
Yeah.
I've been in the
You've
dark
taken your
imperial
first step
side
to a larger universe. So, very good.
I did it.
Anyway, there's a spacecraft called Maven.
Oh!
And Maven is studying how Mars loses its atmosphere. It's a NASA mission. It's a NASA and ESA mission, I believe.
Yeah, because, the solar wind, we got blurry because our camera went out of focus. Let me refocus us, everybody.
Anyway.
Yeah, because the Mars before in the past had a much thicker atmosphere, so it could hold in that water to possibly have life begin to arise. But because it's less massive than the Earth, it has less gravity, and so the solar wind from the sun was able to come in and basically sweep off a shit ton of its atmosphere. It also cooled faster than the Earth, so it lost its magnetic field, which is also a good protector of an atmosphere by the solar wind, which we have because our core is still convecting and doing all its shit. Ask the Ring of Fire that question, how it's working. But anyway, Mars had a lot of its atmosphere swept away by the solar wind, which caused a lot of the water to evaporate. So I guess it has a thin atmosphere now that is still being swept away by that solar wind.
Because it doesn't have magnetic field. But that was all conjecture up until 2014. And
wait,
so you
I'm
have
sorry.
to measure stuff.
That was conjecture until 2014?
Right. So
that wasn't known? Fact?
No, because you had to prove it.
We didn't have the data for that yet?
No, we didn't have the data.
I talked about that in Planetarium shows as if, yes, this is fact of Mars.
Right.
I did not know we didn't have the data for it.
No, it was Maven that proved it. It
so
quantified
it was still hypothetical.
How much.
It was still hypothetical.
Yeah, it quantified how much of the atmosphere Mars was losing. Daily, yearly, whatever, and
it could then retrospectively, we could look back and do all that.
and figure all that out, and
shit.
but
okay.
this is what it was it was like the Higgs boson. The Higgs boson was proven however many years ago.
Like it has to exist
7 years
because
ago.
X, Y, and Z, but no one's ever actually seen it.
Yes.
It's like Copernicus and the...
Yeah, there's like
Galileo.
for the Higgs boson, there's no way it doesn't exist. We just have to quantify it and find it. And they did. And so really and truly for Mars and the water and all that, the only explanation is it lost its atmosphere. And it just became fact in everybody's head. The problem is that there was no quantifiable data, and Maven provided that.
Okay, it's kind of, okay, so, until Galileo observed that, the planets behaving certain ways, we couldn't prove that the sun was at the center.
Right.
There was no visible proof.
Right. And to be fair, it's typically not how science works. Science does typically
needs that quantifiable data before it can say yes.
Yeah,
this is true.
Exactly.
A fact.
And so science usually does not jump the gun on things, but it really is the only explanation that fit the data. Fit what we were seeing. And all of that. And so Maven definitely provided that. And let's see.
Quick sidebar into Jack's comment, which Ron said our camera was drinking. Fair for our camera.
What we all do.
0 degrees was found as the coldest temperature a human felt they could function, and 100 was the hottest. Then boiling and freezing water was extrapolated from that scale, and why it was random 32 and 212. Have we ever been out in 0 degrees? Did we ever experience that in Utah?
We yes, but we never hit negatives. But we did hit zero.
Did hit zero?
And we did not go in it. We stayed in the house.
Did we stay in the house? I feel like I would have wanted to go in it. Just
it was like in the middle of the night.
Oh, was it? Oh, fuck. Okay,
so,
then we were sleeping for sure because sleep prioritizes everything.
That was the coldest. And that was I want to say like the first or second year that we were there. And then we never hit it. I always wanted to hit negatives. I wanted to experience that.
Negative.
Yeah.
In Alaska though, when we went to Alaska.
No, we didn't. We didn't hit negatives, but we had good reindeer. So.
It was tasty.
Yeah, and so I guess we're not gonna be able to function this week. I should message my boss and say I can't function because it's gonna be over 100. It's too hot.
It's too hot.
Jack says I can't.
Adam says 0 degrees is rookie numbers. That's because Adam is from the Arctic of the U.S. What is that?
North Dakota.
North Dakota. Yeah, he's 0. That's how the 118 that Jack had in Palm Springs. We're like, whatever. We lived in Phoenix for 11 years. 118 is nothing.
Yeah, North Dakota gets cold.
But North Dakota, I don't know if we could
they
function.
Get cold stuff. I remember.
That's why Adam has a big beard.
I remember being a kid, and I would watch the news and feel like I was an adult. And they would do the weather, and it would say these negative numbers up in North Dakota. I was like, "Holy crap, that's cold! That's cold!"
Not having any semblance of how cold that could possibly feel.
You have no idea what that means. And then they'll say and then they'll add a level of complexity to it and go, but the wind chill is minus 112. And it's
what? Jack says he agrees with Adam that he does a lesson. Jack does a lesson with his students on why developing a temperature scale by feeling is faulty. Yeah, developing anything by feeling is faulty because feelings are whether physical feeling or emotional are subjective. So yeah, it's not the most scientific way to develop a scientific scale of anything.
All right.
Okay, MRO,
the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter.
Operated by...
it is operated out of Arizona State University.
Arizona State University, woo!
You know what's funny is we hate Phoenix, but
my alma mater is good for something.
Yeah, your alma mater is better than what
they do. Great space stuff.
They do actually do great space stuff, but the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, also known as MRO.
A nice, simple acronym.
It is a spacecraft studying Mars climate and geology, and it's been doing it since 2006.
That's when I moved to Phoenix.
Yeah, it's coming up on 20 years.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It uses the most powerful high-resolution camera ever sent to Mars, and it produces stunning images. Those images really are.
Oh my god, the MRO images are art. Like Juno images are art of Jupiter, or Jupy-Jupes, as Jupiter is commonly referred to here on Cosmos with Cosmos, and should be its official name going forth. I say to you, Astronomical Union. Where am I going with this?
I don't know.
They're absolutely beautiful.
They really are beautiful, and you think of Mars as this like just desert wasteland,
desolate,
yeah,
barren, red, dusty.
But it
wasteland.
gives. MRO gives such relief and life to it, especially when it starts taking pictures of sand dunes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You have some sand dunes. There's an image where it's like the Star Trek one, because it has sand dunes that look like the Star Trek sigil in it.
Yeah, and it's been going since 2006.
And they'll colorize things differently to highlight different minerals or components of what they're seeing, so it's not like it's just the same red. They'll put in different colors, as all space pictures do. They add in different colors for a scientific or way to view something. But oh my god, they're stunning.
Yeah, and since this has been going since 2006, you can go back and look at the older pictures, and you can see changes in places. And there's actually been some cases where they have found that water has come up onto the surface and frozen. And you might not actually see the water, which actually turns to ice, but you see the effects of it on the slopes of craters and things like that. And so it really is an amazing thing.
Yeah, it actually shows that Mars is fairly active. There are geological active processes that are happening there with the components that are there. It's polar ice caps. We can see them shrink and expand in the seasons.
This really is a 2-part episode.
On Mars.
This is not.
No, we've
like
had some definite hangover elements here.
Mars Express. Oh, by the way, the MRO is also used to relay communication between Earth and Mars, like rovers.
Oh, they use the MRO. Oh, okay. It's like a little, all right.
Yeah, a little waypoint for communication.
Yeah, okay.
So, Mars Express, studying Mars from orbit. It is a European Space Agency's first planetary mission. It was launched in 2003, and it arrived on Mars later that year. It's still functioning, so it's 20 years old.
Wow, I am also still functioning.
Yes. The spacecraft has spotted water ice on Mars polar caps and possibly liquid water buried beneath them. And it also serves as a relay between rovers and back home on the Earth. And finally, we come to NASA's Odyssey, studying the Odyssey mission.
Is that also an ASU one?
A what?
Is that also an ASU one, or did ASU have two, or just?
No, they had the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter.
That's right.
MRO and
ASU
LRO.
does the LRO. Yeah. Okay.
It's like, come on, you can be a little more creative.
I don't know. At least it's easy. It's not like Sherlock.
It is.
Fucking stands for whatever I can't even remember now.
I know, right? So this is the longest serving spacecraft at another planet. It's been serving since 2001.
Wow. Okay.
The original goal was
It's really a space odyssey.
Oh shit! That's probably where it got its name.
I'm gonna take a drink for that one because I'm proud of that one. Yeah.
That was actually really good. That's probably where it got its name. Its original goals were to search for signs of water, make detailed maps of the surface, and determine radiation levels for humans. So it's looking for us getting there.
Which is the radiation levels for humans are not going to be great. I'm assuming. No. I'm making an assumption there.
No.
A lot of cosmic rays and solar wind and shit would kill you well.
And just to mention future missions.
Oh, future missions to Mars.
MMX, Japan's Martian Moons Exploration Mission.
Oh, what is with Japan and the X?
I don't know, but they're launching in 2024 to study the moons, Phobos and Deimos.
Have we we haven't had anything really study Phobos and Deimos before.
And this is going to be it's going to return samples from Phobos in 2029.
That's exciting because I mean I think that Phobos and Deimos, the two moons of Mars that are most likely captured asteroids, due to their size and their orbits of them. But I think that they get kind of like, oh yeah, they're captured asteroids. Like they're like an offshoot. Like, oh whatever. They're like not a big deal, you know. But I would. By studying them and learning about, we could possibly learn more about Mars' evolution or how they, how old they are, so we can determine, or like see when they're captured. I don't know. I think that's good. We don't want to just. There's just so much to explore and understand about our own fucking solar system. Not even counting.
Space potatoes, yeah.
Yeah, they look like space potatoes. Not even counting just outside of our solar system. That James Webb is going to be a big. Helpful tool of studying, but it's like these little things that I've never even really, like, I'll talk about Phobos and Deimos, but it's not like I'm thinking of them in like what can we learn from that, but it's important that people are like, let's study these things because nobody has yet, really.
Yeah. Escapade. I'm not really sure about that name, but this is a NASA-funded escape and plasma acceleration dynamics explorer, Escapade. It launches.
Now we're just getting into like car names almost.
I know, right? It launches next year in 2024. It consists of twin Mars orbiters that will answer deep questions about how the red planet's formerly thick atmosphere has been stripped away by solar radiation over time. So it's the next generation Maven.
Oh, okay.
And of course, the Mars sample return, which we've talked about, which hopefully works. And we'll get to your thoughts on the Senate. But ExoMars rover is a European Space Agency and Russian Space Agency plan to send a joint mission to Mars in September of 2022, but it has been since suspended after Russia invaded Ukraine.
Fuck off, Russia. Fuck off. You have the biggest landmass on the fucking planet. Just get over yourselves. I'm sorry most of your fucking landmass isn't habitable because it's Siberia.
And just
large
swaths of land
shit,
where nobody lives.
But get out of other people's countries. Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, that but there's also all the past missions from like India had a mission there, Viking missions, all that. I
mean, we have it's actually surprising how many missions we've actually had to Mars. I mean, Mars is.
Well, it's gonna be our next. Is
it the easiest in heavy quotes planet to get to
for humans?
For humans, well, for our spacecrafts and for humans.
Well,
for landing physically landing on with either a robot or flesh.
Well, the physics to get to Mars is the same as the physics to get to
any other planet,
Venus or Mercury or wherever.
But Mars is the most
it's
conducive to having a robot or humans there, because Venus, you can cook a large pizza in 9 seconds. That one's for you, Brandon. Mercury's cold as fuck or hot as fuck, depending on if you're in the daytime or the nighttime. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are gas and cold gas.
Right, but it's
don't forget India's mom currently orbiting Mars. Oh, it's no longer in contact, but hey, it's still probably in orbit.
Yeah, so it's what I think draws us to Mars is a couple of things.
Aliens.
Well,
science fiction fantasy of Mars.
Right, the whole H.G. Wells. And then you look at Mars through a telescope and you see Schiaparelli, seeing the canale on Mars, which then was mistranslated to canals here.
Yeah.
And so
when I just want a cannoli.
Right, and so it sparks this, fascination among just normal people about Mars. But then you look at it from a science point of view, and in the 60s, it's a world that we know...
That's not a vampire.
Right. It's a world that rotates at the same speed as the Earth.
It's similar.
It's similar to the Earth in that it rotates the same amount of time, 24 hours. It's like 24 hours and 40 minutes for Mars. It goes through seasons. You can see those seasons through a telescope.
It's like it could have been like us. Was it like us?
Yeah, and so, but we really did not know until the 60s when we started sending our first missions there. And then it becomes a world in which we know that we can probably send astronauts there. It becomes a world like the moon, where we did send astronauts, and so the next step is we can send them to Mars. We can't send them to Venus.
It's too hot.
Can't send them there.
Too thick of an atmosphere. Too much atmospheric pressure.
Yeah, so where's the next place that we can go?
Mars.
We can go to Mars. And I think that is why you have so much interest, more so than you have like with Venus. And that's not to say that NASA and European Space Agency and JAXA, which is the Japanese Space Agency, and India and all these countries are not interested in Venus. They are in the other planets.
It's much harder to study Venus than it is to study Mars.
There's just something that pulls us to Mars.
Yeah.
And
and it's also I think it's also like a it's that frontier aspect, which is, I would say, if the frontier aspect is really a kind of an American terminology of shit, but that frontier of like, where can we go? Where can we expand to? Because obviously humans on Venus ain't gonna happen at all.
No.
Mars is not habitable. It's not a great spot for Venus, but it's more easily terraformable theoretically, hypothetically than any other world, aside from maybe like a moon of a gas giant that's further out. But going further out, that's much harder to get to. You need to have much more fuel and life support systems in place to traverse there. So this is more in reach.
That's for you, by the way.
Would you know what, Brandon? I would say that we are still in the horse and buggy stages of space exploration.
Somebody needs to give Mike Murray or whoever wrote that
line in the
black hole.
The exoplanet show.
Was it Exoplanets?
Planet 100? No, that was our show.
Extreme Planets?
Extreme Planets, yeah.
Well,
that is the most adept quote that I love so much and will continuously bring up.
It is a great quote.
Is that we're just beginning.
You know what? I think that humanity, we're at our heart, we're explorers. If we weren't explorers, wait a minute, hold on. I know that you have wanted to talk this whole thing. If we were not explorers, we would have never left Central Africa and moved out. If we weren't explorers and branched out up to Europe and to Asia, if we were not explorers, we would have not have gone from Asia and got into a fucking boat and just cast off and gone to Australia and to all these little islands in the Pacific Ocean, or we would not have gone onto a boat and made our way to these other lands that were far across. Well, obviously, Columbus was not the discoverer of America, but we would not have gone up these, the east side of Asia, across the land bridge and so our next step, if we were not explorers, we would have not have gone to the moon. And so our next step is to go to Mars. It's to go beyond. We're always wanting to go beyond. I'm too fat to go anywhere. But I would love to go to Mars. And so for me, my exploration is understanding the universe, at least intellectually, trying to anyway. And so we're always wanting to explore, I think. Now you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, we are voyagers. Like Vikings who pioneer...
Oh, Jesus. You're going to name every mission?
No.
Who like Magellan.
We pioneer. We are very curious in our perseverance of ingenious methods of exploration.
And in fulfilling our curiosity.
To seek out strange new
worlds. We have
worlds.
the spirit and the opportunity to...
Yes, I had those in there earlier, but I lost them, but... We have this, yeah.
And on that note, guys, I think... Oh, Jesus Christ. On that note, I think we call it a day. So, thanks for joining us. And for not only the main episode and sticking around with us through the hangover, but join us in a couple of weeks where we will do all of this again. But this time we'll talk about what you can see in September in the night sky.
Since we will be out for all of September...
No, we're coming back on September 24th.
Or October 8th.
No, we're going to do September 24th.
Oh, we're going to do September 24th.
Yeah, we made that decision. We made the executive decision to do September 24th so that we can...
Well, we will remind you again next time's
so
episode.
That we can do the October.
And as Brandon has said, so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Or, as Fat Mike says, so long, and thanks for all the shoes.
Ad Astra, everyone.
Cheers.
Live long and prosper. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Adios. We're leaving. I promise. Goodbye.
Are we? Are we now?
Now.